All right, let's talk about climate action projects. You see them everywhere, right? But with so many out there, how do you really know which ones are making a difference? And more importantly, how do we find the projects that are great not just for the climate, but for the people and the wildlife that share this planet with us?
So let's start with a really simple question. What's the actual difference between a good climate project and a truly great one? It might seem like a small thing, but that difference is everything, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack.
And really, the answer is this. A great project is about so much more than just counting carbon. The best, most sustainable projects out there, they're looking at the entire picture, how they impact communities, how they impact the local environment, the whole shebang.
Okay, so what does more than just carbon actually look like? Well, it means we have to stop thinking about these projects with tunnel vision and start seeing them as something that can do a whole lot of good all at once.
Think about it like this. On one hand, you've got projects that are laser-focused on just one thing, CO2. And look, that's important, no doubt, but sometimes that narrow focus can backfire and cause real problems, like hurting a local ecosystem or pushing a community out. But then you have the holistic approach. From day one, the goal is to create a win-win-win for the climate, for people, and for nature. That's the gold standard we're aiming for.
So, the big challenge is, how do you find these amazing holistic projects in a sea of options? Well, it turns out there's a global standard designed for exactly this. It's all about identifying projects that deliver what's called a triple benefit.
It's called the Climate, Community, and Biodiversity Program, or for short, the CCB Program. Its whole reason for being is to act as a guide to identify land use projects that are designed to deliver real, positive benefits across those three key areas.
And here's the most important part. To meet the CCB standard, a project has to deliver on all three of these. It's not a buffet where you can pick what you like. A project that's replanting a forest can't just be about capturing carbon. It also has to show that it's helping the local community, maybe through jobs, and that it's restoring a habitat for wildlife. It's all connected.
And you know, this program has been around for a while. It kicked off way back in 2005. And over the years, it's actually evolved based on feedback from people on the ground. It's been tweaked to be more practical and to make it easier for smaller, community-led projects to get on board, which just shows it's a living, breathing standard. So, it's one thing for a project to say it's going to deliver these triple benefits, but how do you actually prove it? Well, the CCB program has a super rigorous two-step process to separate the talkers from the walkers. The first step is called validation. The easiest way to think about this is like checking the blueprints for a house before you start building. An independent expert comes in and just scrutinizes the project's design. They're asking, is this plan solid? Is it actually set up to deliver on its promises? It's all about making sure the foundation is strong.
Then you have step 2, verification. If validation was the blueprint check, this is the final inspection of the finished house. Auditors periodically go out on the ground to confirm that the project has actually delivered what it said it would. This is the moment of truth. This is the proof.
And you can see how this all fits together. You design the project, you get the plan validated, you go out and do the work, and then, and this is key, you get the real-world results verified by an outsider. It's a full circle of accountability, from the initial idea all the way to proven impact. So, after a project goes through this whole demanding process, what happens? It earns the special mark of quality. And it is so important to understand what this label is, and just as importantly, what it isn't. This quote from the program's own rulebook just nails the difference. Validation means the plan looks good and it's likely to work. But verification? That's the hard evidence. That's the proof that the benefits have actually been delivered. It's the difference between a great plan and a proven success.
Okay, pay attention, because this is a really, really important point. The CCB label is not a carbon credit. I'll say it again, you can't buy or sell the label itself as a carbon credit. That is not what it's for.
So what is it then? Think of it like a quality seal, a stamp of excellence. It gets added on top of carbon credits from other big programs. So when you see a carbon credit that also has the CCB label, it's a signal. It tells you, hey, this isn't just any carbon project. This is a top-tier project that's been proven to help communities and protect biodiversity too. So why does all this matter? I mean, why go through all this extra work and scrutiny? Well, when you pull back and look at the big picture, having a tough standard like this makes a massive difference for pretty much everyone involved in climate action.
For starters, it builds trust. Investors, companies, you, everyone can see the independent proof and feel confident, and that trust helps money flow to the projects that are actually working. But maybe most importantly, it puts local communities at the center of the action, making sure their well-being isn't just an afterthought. And, of course, by demanding that hard proof, it's one of the best tools we have to fight against greenwashing.
But the accountability doesn't just stop after one good report. And that brings us to one last, really important number: 5 years.
5 years. That's the longest a project can go between those on-the-ground verification checks. This ensures that projects are held accountable not just once, but over and over again for their entire lifespan. It's a promise of long-term, lasting positive impact.
And all this really brings us to one final big question. The CCB program proves that fighting climate change doesn't have to be a single-issue fight. It challenges us to ask, when we set out to heal our planet, what other incredible things can we achieve for humanity and nature at the very same time?